Let's head over to Fenton. Tiff in Fenton says, or asks rather, can I sue the former homeowner who sold me my home but did not disclose the condition of the roof that now has to be replaced? From Tiff in Fenton. That's it. That's the question.
Yeah, that's well, I don't know the extent of the damage. I think that's kind of, begs some questions, but I'll give you a quick general answer because this has been very busy. It's been a very busy several months with all the rain that we've been having, right?
Yeah.
And it's either basements flooding or roofs leaking. So there's more information that we would want to get from TIF, right? And one of them would be, well, okay, let's see the disclosure statement, and let's see if the seller had indicated the age of the roof. Okay, that's number one. Whether they indicate the condition of the roof or not. If, let's say they say the age of the roof is, 20 years and it's a 30-year roof or a 25-year roof, okay? What that does, well, that's number one. Number two, we'd want an inspection report. Did you have an inspection of the roof? Did you have an inspection of the property? Let's take a look at it. And so most people, when they look at a disclosure statement, do look at the first thing. It's like one of the first items on the disclosure statement. It asks, what's the condition of the roof? Okay. And most people do ask, how old a roof is. So let's pretend for a minute that roof is a 20-year roof. And there's 15 years have passed. You have 5 years on that roof. So even if that roof is problematic, you should have been on notice as a buyer that the roof is in, maybe decent condition, but you only have approximately 5 years of economic life left on that roof. Okay, so if a roof is, costs $12,000, I don't know how big this home is, but let's say it's a $15,000 roof that needs to be put on. You have to calculate that you're only going to get for damages only 5 years worth of a roof. Because then you understand, right? And so what's that value?
Right. So if it's 5 years of a 20-year roof, so it's 1/4 of the $15,000. So if it was $16,000, we'll just round up to make math easy. That's $4,000.
Right.
So
exactly.
Less than $4,000.
That's right. So do you want to, we have to look at the economic age of the roof. That's number one. And number two, most home inspectors will make a comment about the roof. That's just such an, I mean, it is more often than not that that's the first thing that everybody looks at. So I have a feeling that if I saw the inspection report, if she had an inspection, depending on the inspector, the roof has comments on it, such as, shingles need to be replaced, or, oh, there's 2-ply here, or suggest, here's very common, suggest you have a roofing contractor look at the roof. Because a home inspector is not a roofing contractor usually. And that puts the individual on notice that they should do a little bit more investigation. They should look further, ask more questions, get a roofing inspector out there, just somebody who does roofs. And it's hard to sue a seller just on a roof issue alone, unless it's something that's been concealed. Or another issue is some home inspectors will not go on a roof. They'll use binoculars and they'll look at the roof, and they call that viewing. I viewed the roof, but I didn't do a complete inspection. So a lot of homeowners go, oh, well, I mean, that was a roof inspection. That's not a roof inspection. So it's hard to sue sellers for that because, that language would put somebody on notice to go get another inspection.
Right.
It's hard to blame a seller.
Oh, it is, and I'm speculating. I have no idea what Tiff did, and I'm assuming that she purchased the property recently, but she doesn't say when she purchased the property. Perhaps she purchased the property 2 or 3 years ago.
Pardon me.
But I'm just assuming that she purchased it recently, and yeah. I know that in this time, so just to timestamp this video, it's the pandemic is still going on. It's October 2021, and the real estate market is still really hot, still a very hot seller's market. And we flip houses, and the homes that we have sold, we've had quite a few offers where they're waiving their right to have an inspection.
Right.
And we, of course, as the seller, that's the buyer's decision. But myself personally, I wouldn't do it. And I don't, I know why home buyers are doing it. They just feel like they have to come with this really fantastic, really aggressive offer in order to get the property. And they do, but another question would be, just like you said, Tiff, did you have a home inspection, or did you follow the advice of someone, and not get the home inspection in order to make that aggressive offer to get the property in this hot seller's market? So again,
Right.
I'm just speculating, but
No, you bring up a great point.
yeah, I just foresee a lot of disappointed home buyers who may have a little bit of remorse. I know there's a lot of home buyers who are paying over and above the appraisal. So we've sold homes. We're selling one right now over and above the value of the home. So people are getting into homes, and they're upside down already on day one.
Right.
And then they're getting into homes without really having inspected them. So I feel like in the next 6 months to a year, we'll have a lot of questions about that coming down the line as well.
Right. I mean, so there's so many things, there's so many facts that go into determining whether or not this person has rights against the seller, right? Sure. And you brought up an excellent point, which a lot of people have been waiving their inspection.
Yep.
And not something I would ever do, but I mean, it's how bad do you want a house?
Yep.
And so I don't, right. So here's what we always look for, Blair, just in general, like when people call us for any, it's called seller non-disclosure issues. And we do quite a few. It's one of our busiest areas of practice and litigation. And, but we're looking at the purchase agreement. We asked to see a copy of the home inspection report. We asked to see a copy also of the home seller's disclosure statement. And we take those items and then we look. Well, I can't tell you everything that we do, but we do pull permit information, and we want to see everything that happened to that home. Okay. So there's structural defects that people don't disclose. There's latent defects that are known, and that's really important. The defects always have to be known to the seller. Okay. So if the seller didn't know about it or could never have found the problem, they're not going to be liable under the law. It's only known defects, because failing to disclose issues that are related to a home or defects is a form of fraud. And so fraud, in its most basic element, I've said it so many times on this type of platform that we talk about, fraud is just the knowing disregard for the truth. That's all it is. So you have to know what's going on. Okay?
Yep.